Watch Whimsy. Like. Subscribe. Ring that bell. Hi there, I'm Katie, and this is Watch Whimsy, where I review wonderful and wonky women's watches in a variety of price ranges. Wristwatch check. I am wearing my Frederique Constant double heartbeat. I put this red strap on it. It did not come with this red strap, but it is a Frederique Constant strap. I just said the word strap many times. Today's watch I've had for quite some time now, and while it might not be considered distinctly a woman's watch, it is 34 millimeters, which people generally consider to be in the women's watch range. However, if you're a man with a small wrist, this watch could do you good too. My husband bought me this watch last year because of its ideal size for my wrist and the versatility of its design. The Rolex Date is lovely. It can be either casually worn or it can be dressed up. I've worn it on dates. I've worn it walking around Vegas. You can wear it pretty much in whatever context you wish to wear it. I'm not going to get too much into the history of Rolex because it has been done very well by other people. Instead, I'm going to link you to the Urban Gentry's 8 reasons why Rolex is the best brand and why I intend on buying another. While I don't necessarily agree with the sentiment, his coverage of Rolex history is admirable. I would argue that the best luxury brand would probably be either Vacheron Constantin Black Pain or Breguet. But that's another video entirely. The Rolex Date was released in the mid-1950s. Initially, when it was released, there wasn't really anything different from the Rolex Datejust, with the exception of the size. At its 34 millimeters, it was only slightly different than the Rolex Datejust 36. The full name of this watch is the Oyster Perpetual Date. Oyster meaning waterproof, perpetual meaning automatic, and date meaning date. Over the date window, you will find the Cyclops, which came out in 1953. So the Rolex Date was one of the first watches to ever be released with the Cyclops over the date. At different points in time in history, the watch was offered in solid gold options, two-tone gold options, as well as sizes 26 and 31. Let me show you the box this came in. As with every Rolex, all of the boxes are the same. There's no special boxes for any specific brand that I'm aware of, at least. If you know of one that's different, let me know in the comments. They all come in this outer box, and you might be able to vaguely see the coronet right there. Then you open it, and inside you will find the Rolex green watch box, which currently looks like this. It has, of course, had different designs over the years, but this one is the one that is currently used. When you open it, you will find your watch. In this case, my Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date. Inside the little hidey hole, you'll find your warranty booklet and your warranty card on the other side. If you do need to get it sized, don't worry about it because they will give you your link in a little case or links, however many, what ends up happening. Mine also had this little bezel cover to protect it in shipping. So we'll take that off. And then you have your tags. You have your normal serial number price tag, and you'll also find the superlative certified tag in the box. That means that not only has it been COSC certified, but it has gone through Rolex's rigorous certification process as well. So you know that you're getting a good quality timepiece. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the watch view so that I can get more into the details of the specifications of this lovely timepiece. And so you can get an up-close view of it. And here it is. My Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date. In case you were itching to know, just like with any Rolex that I've ever seen, there is nothing on the back. There's no display case. There's no special markings. Nothing like that. It's just the screwed in case backing. And we got the clasp markings, of course. It is an oyster bracelet in oyster steel with an oyster clasp, as you can see. And you can also see kind of all of these scratches and markings. This watch does tend to pick up scratches and fingerprints really easily. I just wiped this thing off beforehand. And I'm already seeing fingerprints. But I do a lot of desk diving with this watch, as with most of my watches, because I am a writer. So most of my watches get a lot of desk time, with the exception of my Blancpain. The current model of the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date, more frequently referred to as the Rolex Date, is a size 34 millimeter. You can see it has a domed bezel that surrounds a sapphire crystal. At the 12 o'clock, you'll see the Rolex coronet proudly on display. And at the 3 o'clock, we have the date, of course, which gives the Rolex model its name. Over the date, you see the Cyclops, which magnifies the date inside 2.5 times. All around the edges, you will find unnumbered indices, with the exception of the 12 and 3, as I previously talked about. These are all lumed with superluminova, and you will also find the superluminova on the hour and minute hand. While there is no lume on the 12 or the 3, you don't really miss it because we can tell time, and we know that where it is dark on there, that is where the 12 and the 3 are. So when you're telling time at night, you will be able to see that. We're going to take a look at the crown of the watch. You can see we got the Rolex coronet on the crown as well. And just beneath it is one line. Now, you may or may not know this, but the line or dots underneath the coronet on the crown indicate the type of water protection that it has and the material that it is made of. In this case, it has one line, which says that it has a twin lock, and it is either in steel or yellow gold, and we can clearly see this is steel. The waterproofness of this watch is 100 meters or 330 feet in American. I am going to demonstrate the crown now. To unlock the crown, because this is a screw down lock crown, you will simply rotate the crown toward you until it pops. You can see that it is now away from it. First click will make it so you can wind it. While this is a self-winding perpetual movement, it does support the mechanical winding as well, if you so like to do that. I do like to wind my watches. Now, one more click out, and that is where you got the quick set date. Again, you will scroll it away from you to change it. Finally, one more pop out, and it will stop the movement. You can see it does indeed have a hacking second, so you can set it exactly on time. And this watch is actually worth it because it only gains a second a day. You heard me right. That's mine specifically. Rolex claims that this caliber movement gains +2 or -2 seconds a day, but mine time graphed at +1 at 313 degrees. So absolutely incredible. Now, pro tip on setting the date on your watch. I recommend always scrolling until you pass the date with your actual scrolling through the hours. That way you know whether you're getting AM or PM, and you don't have to worry about that. If it's been sitting for a couple days and it's died, you don't have to try to remember or figure out when it died. So you see right now I've scrolled through an entire day almost, And when I get to the noon, or the 12 o'clock, midnight in this case, it will pop over to say 23. So I'm going to slow down a little bit. Oh, look at that. Almost instantaneous. And then from there, you can set the time, which I am not going to really worry about too much right now because it is not the 23rd, and I will have to reset it anyway. So I am just going to set it to 10:10 because, yay, well, a little past, I didn't quite make it. So to get it to lock back in, you're going to press it in until you start feeling tension, I guess. And then you're going to press in, and while you're holding it, you're going to scroll away from you. And that will lock it in place. This has the caliber 3135 movement. While the Datejust did upgrade to a 3235 movement, this one did not. Really, the only major change between the two is that the 3235 offers a 72-hour power reserve, whereas this one is a 48-hour power reserve. It is supposed to get -2 or +2 seconds a day. Mine at +1 second a day. Holy wow, amazing. And 28,800 BPM. You can see at the bottom, it says Superlative Chronometer Officially Certified. Once again, stating that not only has this passed COSC certification, it has also passed Rolex's own certification process. Now I'm going to switch back over so we can chat a little bit more about this watch and where you might be able to find it nowadays. While this is a current model of Rolex, you will not find it on the Rolex website. That's why, unlike other videos, I haven't showed you how to navigate the website to get to this watch. You can't. However, as I said, it is a current model. Unlike the past when there were solid gold options or two-tone gold options, now there are only stainless steel and white gold with a fluted bezel available. I'm not sure exactly on how many dial colors there are available, but I have seen white, black, silver, pink, and blue. I personally have a black one, and I really like how versatile that makes this timepiece. If you want to have this timepiece, I would say talk to your local AD, and they might be able to get it for you. I honestly am not sure what the availability is like on these. We did not have a hard time getting it, but it might be a different story at different authorized dealers. You'll find the steel version retailed at $6,500, and to me, it seems like it's worth it. It's not too much different than the Datejust, which I've also done a review of. But the 34 millimeters is ideal for my wrist, and I have a feeling that it would be an ideal size for a lot of wrists out there. That's going to be all for this time. I'll see you next time, and keep on telling time. Bye. Watch Whimsy. Like. Subscribe. Ring that bell.